unconventional outreach. So allow me to invite our panelists for this session. We have with us Zahir Merchant, Director of Legal and Corporate Affairs, QI Group of Companies; Tim Reed, host of Australia's #1 business podcast, The Small Business Big Marketing Show; Vijay Saldana, Head of Direct Selling at Ashoks; Ashok Babu, Managing Director and Chairman, Smartway Group of Companies; Sunil Alag, he's the Chairman, SKA Advisors; and Sandeep Agarwal, Founder and CEO, Droom. A big round of applause, and along with them, I'd like to invite the Times Network Chief Editor IPs, Mihir Bhatt, who will be moderating this lively session.
We have Mr. Vijay Saldana with us from Delhi, who's joining us from Delhi. The reason we have him is because he has prepared a full-fledged report for ASOCHAM, which was presented to the government. And it has a lot of clarifications as far as direct selling and disruptive retail in India is concerned. Vijay, thank you for joining us. So what is your take? You know, I mean, your report highlighted a couple of key issues regarding this sector. If you can just throw some light on that.
First of all, good evening to all of you in Mumbai. Direct selling, actually, when we look at this country needs a lot of employment opportunities. And in conventional businesses, there's a lot of capital requirement and a lot of infrastructure requirement if you have to create employment. Direct selling is one option where somebody is manufacturing, ensuring quality, packaging and everything, and people are, without any massive infrastructure, can go to any place and start doing selling and start earning by providing a product which is across the table, so quality is assured and everything is assured. See, the challenge here it was that there was no guidelines. So what was happening that every state or every agency was interpreting the whole thing in their own way. And very often we know, those who are in business, that there is a tendency to stop the business instead of supporting and promoting. Because when you stop something, it shows that you have a power to do that. So this is a concern in the whole system. So we requested Government of India that if you really want to promote employment, you have to give some platform to grow these entrepreneurs, those who are operating virtually at very small capacity with the capital, and most of them are either unemployed youth, ladies, or aged people, those who can operate from home. And I think this was a fantastic platform on which government can create employment, and people can earn as per their efforts. Whatever they will sell, they will earn. Government of India accepted this positive development. They created a guideline. But still I find that many states still debating, either due to lack of priority or lack of interest or lack of understanding, we don't know. But I think this is very important that any opportunity which helps in employment creation, we should take it on priority.
Right. Vijay, I'll come back to you. So we have, in fact, Mr. Ashok with us from Smartway Group of Companies who has successfully operated this model in India. So Ashok, I want you to share your own experience because, you know, one remarkable thing about this part of retail is that it creates a lot of employment opportunities for women. And in fact, a couple of sessions back, we had one full-fledged session on women entrepreneurship and welfare for women. And one of the main discussion points was that how do we create more opportunities for them? Do you think this direct selling or disruptive retail can play a crucial role in that?
See, before we talk about women empowerment, I would like to say that Donald Trump is the best example for direct selling. Now, this industry has started in 1920, 1930 in USA, and recently our central government has launched a guideline in 2016 September. Now, to work with this same central government guideline, we need a proper monitoring mechanism. Without having a monitoring mechanism, if the people start to continue work with this industry, and today I am also facing a lot of problems because still we need a lot of education to the people, to the government, to the police officers, and to the publics. What is exactly meant by direct selling and multi-level marketing? See, multi-level marketing is one of the biggest opportunity in India, especially a country like India, and especially for the women. No doubt about that. We have, but to get into that industry, or to become an entrepreneur in multi-level or direct sales industry, we need to support them for everywhere and each and every position of their life. According to the survey, creating entrepreneurs, India is on the 68th rank out of 137 countries. So where are we? And why we are not looking seriously into these type of problems and aspects of this direct selling industry 120, 130 years after one system is happening in India.
Yeah.
So we have to be more on the regulatory part. We have to be more on the, we have to give all the governments. Now, central government did a very good job, fantastic job that they at least recognize something. And
But
they
state governments have been lagging in recognizing or
they
adopting
have
the law.
given the instruction to the state governments to implement and make a monitoring mechanism. See, without having any monitoring mechanism, how can we make sure that the people, the company, and the consumers are doing right? So I can say that there are only one state which I came to know that the Kerala is one of the state who already started monitoring mechanism. In monitoring mechanism, there are two clauses which they are clearly emphasized. One is PCMC Act, and the other one is Consumer Protection Act. Now, any customer is having any complaint about the product, they can approach the nodal officer, and the nodal officer will decide where it should go, whether it should go to the consumer or it should go to the police. So there, the industry start getting booming again.
Right.
So 100% sure that a lot of jobs, and according to FICCI and KPMG, 64,000 crores in 2025. Right. So we should believe that there is a big industry behind us, and we are going to take it further.
Right.
One of the parts of trust is that direct selling is wonderful to trust. A lot of the direct selling companies, the marketing behind it is based on party plan. You know, it's a very social way of doing business.
Yeah, party
so
business is good.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go to someone's home, you get to trial the product, you get to feel it, look at it, talk about it to others, and so the trust is established. Well, direct selling is wonderful at creating jobs because what happens is, if you become a direct seller for any of these party plan companies or direct selling companies or multi-level marketing companies, many, many different names, all of a sudden, you are going to require things like a website. I mean, I was involved in a direct selling company many years ago and had great success back in Australia. And the way it worked is, I positioned myself as an opinion leader in Australia around marketing for small business. I found a direct selling company that was an ideal they had an ideal product for small businesses in Australia. I then needed a website. I then started a podcast, so I needed an editor. I started doing videos. I needed a copywriter for my website. I got into personal development because direct selling is a fantastic business model for personal development. It's a very inspirational industry. So all of a sudden, I found myself employing, whether full-time or in a contractual or freelance basis, quite a number of people. And that's really exciting. As a small business owner, when you know you're giving employment to others, it was a great feeling. So it's a very, very good industry for employing. And to your point, Mihir, about regional communities, as long as they've got an internet connection, which they may or may not have, I don't know what the internet's like over here out in the country.
It's growing pretty rapidly now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Then you're in a really good position to be able to start a small business. And what a great opportunity for someone in a regional area who may just be working in farming to actually start off, because many direct sellers, it starts off as a side hustle. It's not your main source of income, but as you get better at it, it can take over, whether you're working for a large corporation now and want to go out on your own, or whether you want to start your own first business. Direct selling is a wonderful way of doing it.
Yeah, I think, so Ashok, maybe you can share your experience that basically what we are referring to is a sort of ripple effect where, you know, this direct selling business at some point, if any company starts, it goes in a kind of autopilot mode after it reaches a certain critical mass where, you know, then members keep getting added and it goes on that autopilot track. Is that correct?
Say again, I couldn't get you.
For direct selling, at some point that business, once it crosses that critical mass, after that it goes into autopilot mode because then people keep enrolling and that's how your network grows.
No, it is not like that. See, any direct selling company, any direct seller, it is a continuous effort.
No, which is fine. But after some point, obviously your network will grow on its
Yes,
own,
after
right?
some point of time, it will grow automatically. I mean, the growth rate will become double, but it never be auto because the products, the pricing, and how you serve. This is the basic thing which people adopt in their mind. Before that, I just want to tell you one simple example. When any child born birth, he or she drink the milk of mother. And that only one time or 2, 3, 4 years we are doing that. I mean, we are drinking the mother milk. After that, whole our life, we are not getting that particular, you call vitamin or you call whatever it is. We are not getting that. I came to know that because of this direct selling industry, there are certain type of vitamins, minerals, which our body 100% is required. Like magnesium is one of the reason for silent heart attack. In our normal life, or if this industry is not there, no one is going to.
So you are saying they are becoming available because of this kind of model.
Lot of positive things in this industry.
Right. Tim, why don't you share, like you mentioned, because you have studied this industry so closely, what is your key takeaway? Because you run one of the most successful podcasts and a show on this subject, and also on small brands, big marketing. So why don't you just share your experience with us?
My experience around
Did-
direct selling?
yeah.
Well, you know, again, a wonderful industry. It's a very easy way to get into your own small business. I've interviewed a number of direct sellers over the years on my podcast, the Small Business Big Marketing Show, and one thing they've all done, and everyone in this room could do, is choose a niche that you are really, really interested in. Choose something that you are incredibly passionate about. I love the idea of identifying a niche that's 1 inch wide and 1 mile deep, and becoming an expert in that niche, becoming the opinion leader in that niche. And it's very much what I did with my podcast when it started 10 years ago. And then you build an audience, you build traffic to your website or your podcast or your YouTube channel or your social media channels. And then you've got people who are really interested in what you do. And actually, when you when you start to promote things, they actively want to buy from you because they trust you. It all comes back down to trust. So the idea of doing that first, and then once you've chosen your niche, once you've become an opinion leader in it, go and find a direct selling company that has a product or a service that is ideal for that niche. And then, as we say in Australia, you're off to the races. You're going to do well because you've got a perfect match of people who are interested in what you do and a product that is ideal for them.
We have Vijay also with us from Delhi. Let's go back to him. Vijay, thank you for staying with us. So Vijay, since you prepared such an extensive report, if you can share the critical issue that is really holding this sector back from coming into full bloom.
First of all, I think there is a misconception that direct selling is something new for India. You remember your childhood when we used to hear about Kabuliwala stories. See, every artisan in India used to prepare their own product and they used to go to the market and sell their own product. There was a uniqueness in the product. People used to trust them and there used to be trade. So every village, every cottage industry was actually doing manufacturing plus selling on their own. This was a traditional economy of India. When the new retailing came up, we ignored actually the direct selling and we thought that this is something, the only way of retailing is we just create a shop or supermarkets and do the business. I think this was the basic reason that India's art, culture and innovative zeal to create new products as per the need of the market, that vanished. So I think if we look at direct selling and go back to the way the traditional Indian entrepreneurship developed, that was one, local tradition art based on the local geography and the needs of the society, and on the other side, the same entrepreneur, the producer used to go to the customer and get actual need and come back and create a product and go back and sell the product. Right. That was more sustainable model instead of transporting an idea from a different place and bringing bringing into India. So my way of looking at is that if we promote direct selling, it will support new ideas, it will support innovation, it will give products which is need of the customer, it will give a product which is more sustainable, it will give product with less pollution, and it will give direct service, because if that entrepreneur has to survive in business, he has to deliver quality, he has to deliver service, only then customer will come back and buy again or will demand more and more from him. So I think direct selling is one way of injecting entrepreneurship with innovation in traditional systems of India. And today what market is looking for? Market is looking for variety. Market is looking for differentiation in taste. What we are getting today in supermarket, everybody is buying same thing. That is not satisfying customers' inner zeal and desire. So I think if we look at, let's give a proper legal framework to direct selling so that nobody cheats. If there is any problem, there is a complaint redressal system. But at the same time, the ecosystem will definitely support.
Thank you so much, all of you. And we all had a long day today, Aisha, but now finally Baba is here. So
Yeah,
I think
talk about brands, and who better than him to throw some light on it,
over
right?
to you and Baba.
All right. So on that note, gentlemen, I'd request you to take your seats. Thank you so much for joining in on stage for that very engaging discussion. Thank you. You can proceed to your seats. Thank you so much.